with some components that you specify when you create your stack. So you would specify a runtime you're using and a base operating system and a range of versions that you want to lock to, so you're not updating to a version that would break your application. And I'll go into more detail about that later. So Stacksmith will give you a Docker file. You pull that into your CI system using the Stacksmith API. You build your application code, get your application container, and roll that out to production. So that workflow is all the same. But then when there's an update to your stack, the Stacksmith service will send you a notification either via email or a webhook, or you can even set up a GitHub integration to get a pull request, and then you can automate the whole workflow to get it out to production again with that update. So it basically saves you that step of having to figure out that there's an update to the base container, right? So I'm going to go ahead and demo that. So I picked a Node to-do app because Node apps are the new hello world. So this is from Scotch.io, and the requirements are Node.js and MongoDB. So I set up a Helm chart for this and a Dockerfiles file. So to give you a quick look at what that looks like, basically has a Node container that builds a Dockerfile in its repo, and then links that to a MongoDB container. And I also have a Kubernetes Helm chart that I use to deploy this to Kubernetes. But I don't have a Dockerfile in here yet, so I need to go and figure that out first. So this is where I'll go to Stacksmith. And this is the create stack page on Stacksmith, and I can define a repository. So here I've picked my node to do repository. And it says it's going to submit a pull request with my Dockerfile once I create a stack. And then I'm going to select Node.js because it's a Node.js app. And these are the range of components we support today, and we're adding more and more every day. Again, if there's any specific application that or component that you're looking for, you can hit the feedback tab here and put in the request. And the other important thing here is what I was saying about locking to a specific version. So I can select the release series here. So here I'm going to select 6.x, and this just ensures that I'm never going to get an automatic update to 7.0, because that could potentially break my application. So this will lock me to all patch and excuse me, patch and security updates on the 6.x release series. And then I'm going to select an Express.js Dockerfile, since that's more close to how my application needs to run. And I'm going to leave the operating system the same as Debian. So if I go ahead and create this stack, that gets created in my account. As you can see here, the version in use is 6.2.1, and that's the latest one as well, and the same for the operating system. If I go to the Dockerfile tab, I can either go and copy or download this Dockerfile using this link. But I set this up in a repository, so Stacksmith, as I said earlier, Stacksmith should give me a pull request. So if I go to the pull request tab here, I get a pull request here from Stacksmith. And what it's done is basically just created a branch in my repository with a Dockerfile and submit a pull request for that. So I go here, again, it's the same Dockerfile, and then I'm going to go ahead and merge that. And the great thing here is that if I have my GitHub repository already connected to a CI like Travis, I'd be able to easily roll that out using whatever CI system I already have in place. So if I go back to the diagram, this is where we are now. We've got a base container. And I probably now want to set up my CI to go and build my application with the code, get a container out of that, push that to a registry, and roll it out to production. And I have done that. So here's my app running in my Kubernetes cluster, and just to prove that that is actually running. Yeah, going on CTL. Pods. So I have this node to do pod here. I should probably make that bigger. And I have a service running here, which is 104.197.193.111. So going back to here, I'm going to add some to-do items. Feel free to bring up a browser and go to this URL and add something too. So I'm going to add a shopping list. Apparently I'm being very healthy today. So great. So I have my application running, and obviously I want people to hack me because I'm proudly displaying the Node.js version there as well. So what if there's an update? What if there's a security issue in 6.2.0 and the latest version is 6.2.1? So I'm actually using a stack that I created earlier in a different repo, so I can have an older version of Node.js. And as we saw earlier, the latest one is 6.2.1. So if I click on here, Stacksmith will actually tell me some information about what's new. So a few changes, including a security fix and some upgrades to V8 and NPM. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and regenerate the stack in Stacksmith. And once that's done, I get a new stack with a new unique ID. And I can go ahead and download the Dockerfile here. Or once again, because I've set it up with my repository, I should get a pull request with the update Dockerfile. So if I look at what's changed here, the stack ID has changed, and the new version node is here as well. So at this point, because this is a pull request, if I have tests set up, I can go and build that Dockerfile, make sure that my application works with that Dockerfile in the pull request using something like Travis. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and merge it. And this should start a build in Travis. So if I have a look, yeah, let's pick that up. So while that's running, I'll explain what exactly is happening there. So this is my Travis.yaml file. I'm downloading the kubectl command so I can use it later and storing it in /kubectl. I'm logging into Docker to push my image to the Docker registry. I'm tagging it with the unique Travis build number, so I'm always getting a unique tag, and I'm pushing that to the repository. And then I'm doing a kubectl running update to my cluster. So let's see if that's started yet. Okay. Sometimes Travis takes a while to get running, but hopefully before the end of this, it'll be done. But while that's doing that, I'm just going to go through the anatomy of the Stacksmith Dockerfile. So you start off with the base OS, which is just pulling from an image in GCR. And this is based off the Debian image in Docker Hub, and includes some Bitnami related components for Bitnami related tools for installing Bitnami packages. And then you have some metadata about what the stack actually is. So a helpful name, which in this case is the name of my repository, the stack ID, and then you have the installation part. So this is installing my specific version of Node with a checksum to ensure that that's a valid download. and then setting up some environment variables as well. And then the latter part of the Dockerfile is more application specific. So this is where you'd want to make changes to how you run your application. So in this case, I'm doing npm install, but you may not have any dependencies, or you may want to change the port that's running on, or the command that gets started up. And that's where you do that. And again, these changes on the changes you make below this line are kept when regenerating. So Stacksmith will only keep that top part up to date. Cool. So hopefully that started. While this is pushing, I'm happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Adnan so far? Somebody in chat said cool. I feel the same way. Adnan demoed this for us at the Kubernetes Colorado meetup yesterday. That's why he's in the conference room.
So Docker Hub just failed and gave me a 500 internal server error. Oh, great. I should have used GCR.
Another use case for this, I don't know if people have thought about, but if you have like, you want to re-platform to a different operating system, and you want to take all your apps, and like say you're running like Debian, and then suddenly you have like, you run Red Hat in production, but you don't have Red Hat for all of your development environments, you could use Stacksmith to just switch. They don't support Red Hat yet, but they have Debian and Ubuntu. You can imagine an extension, right? But be able to move to a different operating system, at least right now, between Debian and Ubuntu without having to rebuild all of your Docker files from scratch. I think it's kind of a nice thing too.
Yeah. I'm going to try and start another build, but it probably won't.
And that was Kit for everyone who doesn't know. He was also presenting at the Kubernetes Colorado meetup.
Good meetup, good beer.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to happen. We can go to the latter part and come back to this.
Okay. Do you want to skip to the next thing?
Well, I'm done with the demo, so
okay.
if you want to, yeah.
Gotcha. So, okay, cool. Okay, so we're gonna move on, and then we'll come back at the end of this to check on Stacksmith here and the Travis build. So, Matt Farina, I'll hand it over to you. Matt, could you give us a recap of what the SIG-Apps survey is and what we've come up with so far?
Certainly. Hello. So the SIG-Apps survey was one of the suggestions when we had our first meeting of something we could do as a group. And the idea is to capture what do people who are deploying applications and operating them inside of Kubernetes, what do they like, and excuse me, what kind of problems are they having? What would they like to see be improved? And so last week, a handful of people volunteered to help me come up with a list of questions to do. And so we started to collect questions. And so I actually have a list. If I can share it, if we stop sharing screen, I can share my screen real quick. All right, so I will share. And you all should be able to see the list of questions we have right now. I only put in the first three. All the rest of them have come from others who had volunteered to help with this. And so at this point, I plan on taking this list and getting together with the folks, and we'll probably try to clean up the grammar, and then this last one on line 16, convert that from this idea of how do we do that and phrase it into a nice question, and then turn it into a question that is into a form through Google Docs, and then or some other kind of survey, maybe SurveyMonkey, and then try to broadcast that out widely. When that happens, I'll let everybody know. And hopefully it will be in the next week or two we can get this cleaned up and out. I was thinking, and I'm open to suggestions, you leave it open for a week, you get it out to as many folks as possible, then we can publish the overall data just so everybody can have the data set, in addition to looking for grabbing maybe that same group or another group of folks, and we can go through the data and look for common points, things that kind of bubble up in the data, and see if there's anything we want to highlight here or take to the community meeting. And so if anybody, in addition to, if I've already talked to you, that's great. I'll continue to keep you in the loop. If there's anybody else who wants to be involved in this going forward, please reach out to me and let me know.
Awesome, Matt. I believe you have a question in the chat.
Sorry. Where is... While I'm sharing a screen, I'm trying to find the chat.
So the first question is, has this doc been posted to the group?
Has this been posted to the group? No, I will go ahead and share this. Anybody who has the link can get to the sheet. So I will post this into the SIG-Apps room after this meeting. So anybody else can jump in and add or edit things.
Awesome, and we'll just add it to the meeting notes as well. So we can have it in both places. And the next question is from Mike. When should we expect the survey around this to be created for all of us to fill out?
I would like to have it sometime in the next week, hopefully before the next meeting, and we can announce it at the next meeting and say, everybody go take and share, put it on social media, go fill it out yourselves, send it to your teams.
Awesome, thank you. Does anybody have any more questions for Matt? All right, well, thanks so much. These questions look awesome. I'm really looking forward to this being distributed. So now let's go back over to Stacksmith and see what's going on there. Take it away, Adnan.
Cool, let's see if it worked. No, I don't know what you mean. Okay, looks like it did. So it pushed the image and did the rolling update. So let's go and see. Let's go back to the application, see that that's updated. Refresh. Sweet, I get 6.2.1. And someone's gone crazy with the to-do list. But cool. So yeah, so that's Stacksmith. I'll show you the homepage real quick. It's in open beta right now, so we'd love for you to go and try it out and give us any feedback that you have, more components or new features that you'd like it to do. Yeah.
Awesome. So how can someone give you feedback? Do you want them to go to the feedback tab, or how do they want?
So yeah, so the best way is probably the feedback tab down here. But I'm also on the Kubernetes Slack channel, so you can, I'm at Fridaonius. So you can find me in there. That's also my Twitter, so you can, if you want to talk specifically to me, you can find me there.
Awesome, and we'll put your contact information in the channel and in the meeting minutes. So if anybody has questions for Adnan, please reach out to him. Okay, and our last item for the on the agenda today is we had a demo of PetSet at the first SIG-Apps meeting, and we were very interested as a group giving Prashant some feedback. And so I've posted some links in the SIG-Apps group, and I'll post a few more just to give people pointers to where they can find more information, because there aren't really concrete documentation places for us to kind of go to do tutorials. So we're still working on figuring that out. But I did get some links on a few examples of pets and where you can find out more. So I'll post that in the channel and the meeting minutes as well. So I think we've got some time for any questions or any discussion. If you have ideas for demos or discussion topics for SIG-Apps, reach out to me. I'm at mnurali. And yeah, does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about? Don't be shy. It's a safe space. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Join us next week for a demo of the role-based access control features in Kubernetes. Eric Chang from CoreOS will be demoing some of that for us. Thanks so much and have a great day.